Don't let one bad leg haunt your parlay. Parlays turn into payouts, and now even near misses won't haunt your bet. The NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg, a new game-changing promotion that turns close calls into cold, hard cash. Best of all, it's available to all DraftKings customers. Here's how it works. Build any 3+ leg pregame NFL parlay on Sunday, apply your Ghost Leg token, and if one leg loses, DraftKings makes it vanish like it never existed and pays you out in cash for the rest. Last season, over 30 million parlays were lost by a single leg. This year, Ghost Leg gives those busted bets a second life. No more busted parlays that haunt you all season. With Ghost Leg, the bad leg vanishes. The payout doesn't. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PFF. That's code PFF to unlock Ghost Leg, the promotion that makes one bad leg disappear and pays you out in real cash. Ghost your losses, get your payout in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. One game that scored 93 points to another scored 29 points total. The Iowa State Cyhawk win over Iowa, 16-13. Number 16 Iowa State comes out victorious over the highest graded player, starting off with the Cyclones. Their highest graded player was their safety. Marcus Neal Jr. has really been a great player for them so far this year, 80.6 grade. Tight end Gabe Burkle, 73.3. Running back Abu Sama III, 71.1. Linebacker Caleb Bacon, 70.5. Safety Jamison Patton, 69.6. And Rocco Beck, the quarterback, 68.8. Let's go over to Iowa with their highest graded players in the loss. Defensive tackle Jonah Pace, 76.7. Running back Jazian Patterson with a 74 grade. Jennings Dunker with a 72.9 grade, top 10 player in the draft, according to our lead draft analyst, Trevor Sikkema. Cornerback Zach Lutmer, 71.7. Offensive guard Bo Stevens, 70.9. And Mark Gronowski, the quarterback, 69.2. Dalton, for you, that's the whole story in this game.
I think we just got exactly what we thought we were going to get. These two teams are always playing hard-fought defensive games because that's how this rivalry works. Iowa State's always got a good defense, and the way that they do it, Phil Parker and the Iowa defense, they're always really good. And 16-13 is a score that does not shock me in the least bit. And you look at especially what these two teams are good at, especially against each other, preventing explosive plays. Iowa had 6 on the day, 3 run and 3 pass. Iowa State had 4, 2 run and 2 pass. Only 2 plays in this entire game on either side went for at least 20 yards. 1 on each side. I mean, and I think there was only 1 over 25. So, I mean, we just got exactly what we thought we were going to get. Iowa at 3.4 yards per play. Iowa State at 4.1. Who's the better kicker? Kyle Conradi, obviously, with more big field goals against Iowa, just like he had last year. I don't think there's anything we got in this game that we didn't expect. It was just a matter of who was going to win 16-13. Really, I mean, the big story. I mean, you're about to talk about the big story for Iowa here and the concerns moving forward. But I think as far as Iowa State, you just give them credit for winning these games the way that they need to win them. Yeah. It's different from last year. It's not Higgins and Knoll. It's 12 personnel like we talked about in the preview. Burkle and Bramer are on the field constantly. It's a grind. Rocco, it's not as high flying this year, but I'll give Rocco credit. Like what I've seen with the ball security through 3 games. That's a big thing because you can't play these tight-knit games without better ball security than he had last year. I believe it was 20 turnover-worthy plays last year, right? So it's different for Iowa State. It's much more complimentary, and it's much more defensive and low-scoring, and it might stay like that all year. But against Iowa, that's what you're going to get into anyway. They're already aware of that. And now they've won, 3 out of 4 against Iowa?
Yep. 3 out of 4.
I mean, so I think we got exactly what we expected out of this game.
And we got exactly what we expected out of the Iowa passing game, too, based on recent years.
More of the same.
Yeah, Mark Gronowski, so far through 2 games, has averaged 63.5 passing yards per game. 63.5. He was supposed to be the quarterback that comes into Iowa and changes all the narratives around the Iowa passing attack. He won the Walter Payton Award at South Dakota State in 2023. That's basically the FCS version of the Heisman Trophy. He won 2 FCS national titles at South Dakota State, too. He was a superstar at the FCS level. Comes up to Iowa, and through 2 games so far, it looks like another Iowa quarterback, honestly. Now, I think part of it is him. Part of it is a receiving core. The offensive line's been really good so far too, but this passing game has just really, really struggled. He has now had fewer than 100 passing yards in both of Iowa's games. Just a 61.6 passing grade on the season, only a 53.5% completion rate on the season. His average time to throw, Dalton, is 3.46 seconds. That is the longest in all of college football. Iowa also has the 8th worst receiving grade in the country. So it's him not being accurate. It's the Iowa receivers not getting open down the field either. All around, this looks like the same old Iowa passing game that we've grown so accustomed to over the last few years. And even though you brought in a superstar FCS quarterback in Mark Gronowski, even he can't fix this Iowa passing game.
I mean, there's a couple of problems. Obviously, you mentioned Gronowski. Obviously, he's helping a little bit in the run game. He's mobile enough to help there. But this team doesn't need to run the ball more. They need balance. We've said that forever. For as long as we've been doing this show, Iowa's not been a balanced offense. Jacob Gill, through 2 games, has 65 receiving yards. Nobody else has more than 15. And their sophomore receiver that they were hoping could eventually turn into a number 1 Reese Vandersee has yet to play a snap because of injuries. So that's the concern right now. Is this, yes, new quarterback comes up, South Dakota State, decorated career. This looks like same old Iowa.
Yep.
And same old Iowa in this version of the Big Ten that, there's at least 5 or 6 really good defenses.
And same old Iowa without a superstar tight end either. At least in past years, you say, okay, they have a first-round tight end at least.
Yeah.
They don't even have that.
No, it's not good. I mean, you look at it in the Big Ten, just about every week, you're playing at least a pretty good defense, if not better than that. If you're one-dimensional, and it's not like they have Caleb Johnson this year. They're putting it together, obviously, with Patterson, with Xavier Williams, with Gronowski. They're going to be able to run the ball because you have maybe the best O-line in the country.
Yeah.
But if you can't throw it, you can't throw it.
Yep.
This is where you're at. You're going to be playing 16 to 13 every week. We've done this with them before, and through 2 weeks, it looks like nothing's changing.
Poor Donnie in the chat's just going through it right now. He is just.
I mean, it's tough. It's when it's like that every year, every single year.
It's got to be demoralizing.
It's just so it's stressful. It's playing in 16.
And they're good enough.
Playing in 16 to 13 games every week.
It's not like they're
stressful.
a bad program. Like their defense is always elite.
No,
they're going to
win at least 8 games. That's what they do. But it's just you have to have a quarterback.
They're very predictable.
You have to be able to throw the forward pass.
Yeah.
And they just can't. They still just can't do it.
Who was the most impressive part of this win for Iowa State?
Look, we've had 2 big Iowa State games so far. One against Kansas State, a huge Big 12 win. This game, a big rivalry win over Iowa. And in both games, Marcus Neal's been their highest graded player. He kind of plays, there's this 3 safety defense that Iowa State runs, and he's kind of the hybrid strong safety / a little more linebacker.
It's like Caleb Downs a little bit.
A little bit. It's that same role that we talked about with Downs last year, and we talked about it in the Kansas State game where he's kind of this rover in the middle of the defense who fluctuates between safety and linebacker, but he's really darn good at it. 79 run defense grade in this game, 70 coverage grade, all over the football. 8 tackles, 5 stops, had a sack as a blitzer as well. Big 3rd and 8 sack down in the red zone that held Iowa to a field goal. Marcus Neal is just kind of an X factor in the middle of this defense right now, and it's good to see Caleb Bacon also there in the top 5 of their highest graded players after being hurt last year, barely played. Their run defense, and you're going to mention it now as a unit, is really good, but Marcus Neal as the guy that can fluctuate between linebacker and safety back there, big piece of this defense, a very important player in this defense. And in their 2 big games, he's been their highest graded player both times.
It feels like Iowa State finds a new star in their secondary every single year.
Yep. We
thought it would be Johnson Williams this year, and he's still been really good for them at corner, but Marcus Neal feels like the new star in that secondary for this team.
Absolutely. And it's just the variety. When you have a guy like that, you need a guy like that kind of tweener that can allow you to play a defense like this. And he can move down in a game like this where Iowa's going to get heavy with tight ends in their offensive line and just fly to the football and make tackles on the weak side especially. He's just a really good, versatile player that makes their both units, the secondary and the front 6. In their case, it's really a front 6. It makes both of those units better. And it allows, again, we talked about it with K-State in one style, but it allows you to run that 3-3 against heavy running. Think about the 2 teams that they've played, the run games, the Kansas State and Iowa. In theory, you got 6 in the box and a 3-3 shouldn't work, but it's a guy like Marcus Neal that makes it work. So huge credit to him really for being their best player so far this season.
He's a big part of my most impressive part. That is the Iowa State run defense. Once again, they shined in this one. Only 148 yards allowed to Iowa, who we said before in the preview, they're going to want to run the football. They know they can't win with Mark Gronowski being relied on as a passer in this game. Iowa only averaged 4.1 yards per carry. They had 16 run defense stops on 31 carries, so over half the carries Iowa had were negative plays for the offense. 6 defenders with 70-plus run defense grade on Iowa State's defense, too. And like you mentioned, Dalton, a 3-3-5 defense on the surface level isn't designed to stop the run. But that's precisely what they've done through 3 games so far. Against Kansas State, who wants to run the football, they stopped them there. Against South Dakota and against Iowa now. They have stopped this run games for all these teams. And Iowa has an elite offensive line, too. And even they couldn't get through the Iowa State defense. This right now looks like one of the best defenses that we have in the Big 12, if not the best defense in the Big 12 right now.
No, they're a problem. And as long as they can continue in their Big 12 games now to complement it enough on offense, they're still finding it. They're trying to find it at wide receiver. It's a tight end-centric offense. You still have Sama and Hansen in the backfield. And again, to his credit, I think a big story right now for Iowa State is Rocco Beck's ball security. And last year that was a concern, right? And they were a more high-flying offense. But you look at him through 2 games this year, and you look at the type of football that they're playing. He has 1 turnover-worthy play in 3 games. That's phenomenal. For Rocco Beck and the type of football they're going to have to play, it has to be more efficient. It has to be more complementary, right? You're not going to see him go out there. He's averaging less than 200 yards a game through the air. You're not going to see him this year go out and just tear it up through the air like he did last year with Higgins and Knoll. Yeah. It's going to be different. There's going to be moments where he's got to make big throws. There was 1 or 2 in this game. But understanding the assignment of, okay, our defense is great. I got 2 good backs. We're going to be playing in more low-scoring games this year. It's not going to be all the 38 to 35s they played last year. Matt Campbell getting Rocco and getting his team to understand what brand of football they're playing this year is going to keep them in Big 12 contention.
So apologies to Donnie, but Iowa losing to Iowa State, number 16 Iowa State, 16-13, and quite a resume Iowa State's building through 3 weeks so far. Been a pretty impressive team so far.
It's 2 phenomenal wins. It really is.
Even South Dakota was a semifinalist in the FCS last year.
Yeah, no, they're building it right now, big time. I mean, you talk about we've been mentioning a lot of Utah. We're going to get into Texas Tech pretty soon. TCU obviously with a big Week 1 win, and now they're 2-0. Baylor but Iowa State, they're going to be in it. They're going to be in the mix, no question, especially with this defense.